Welcome to another how-to video of SPAD.next 0.9. This time, how to get started from the installation of the software to your first flight. So let's switch to the screen. There we are. I have downloaded the installer already. In case you haven't yet, you can always download it from the forum. There's this downloads links. You can go here, and then you have direct download for directly downloading the setup, or you can go to current public release to see what's new in this release and what you have to do maybe before you can install the software. In this case, I have just downloaded the installer from the website. You can also use the installer from your SimMarket account. So let's go ahead and start the installer. First we click next, then you have to accept the end user license agreement, and then you come to the choose setup type. That's the first important step. If you are on a Windows system that has user account control enabled, then the typical installation which installs the software to see programs will not work most likely without some tweaks. So in this case, you should choose the custom installation. If you want to stick to the typical installation, you will have to do some tweaks afterwards. The installation, like granting write access to all users to the installation directory, which is not recommended. So I will go to custom installation. Then you have three things to choose from. First is the Visual C++ runtime. It is needed if you use LVAR support, so I keep it checked. And then we select the SPAD.next and can change the location here. So in this case, we're gonna install to the SPAD.next. And then we say next and install. There we are finished. So if I now pull up my D drive, I got the folder SPAD.next there, where everything is what's related to the software. So first step we have to do now is to get started. So we start the software. And this is what you will most likely see if you downloaded the installer from your SimMarket account or the installer from the website, because the installer is not updated every time an update is made. So first of all, if there is an update available, choose apply to make sure that you're using the latest version. So we just have it downloading. There it is. And then we just start it again. So when you first start SPAD.next, the configuration wizard will pop up. It's very important that you go through this wizard to make the basic configuration. Important is a sentence here: make sure that the main simulation is running. So in my case, with this installation, I will start FSX. No plane has to be loaded. It's just okay if you're sitting in the free flight dialog. So simulation must just be running. So it's now up and running, and I choose that FSX and SPAD.next are running on the same computer, and start the wizard. It will detect the location of FSX. If it's wrong, you can change it here. If you're not using FSX, you can disable the usage here. So we go to the next step. Prepare 3D is also detected. Same if it's not the correct location, or if you have more than one version installed and want to use the V2 with SPAD.next, you can change the location here. So the next XAF is your IPC detection. SPAD.next tries to find FSU IPC on your installation. If it's found, all is fine. If it's not found, it will be disabled. If you don't want to use FSU IPC with your installation, just disable it. Next step is a SimConnect configuration. Please note that this is a registered version only feature right now, but nevertheless you can configure it. So we select it's running on the same computer, hit the test connection button, and the connection should be successful. So we head over to the next step. That's the PMDG 737 or 777 detection. It will check if it finds a supported version and if the enable broadcast entry is found. If it's not found, it will be added automatically, or you will provide it with a link where you can read the manual instructions. I want to enable it, so by default it's disabled, but I want to enable it. So we go to the next step. That's the LY support. The LY local variables are used for most of the add-on aircraft, like A2A or Aerosoft, or the Q400, so it has to be installed. First of all, it checks if the distributable package is installed. If it's not installed, you will be provided with a download link to install it. Please download the x86 version, not this 64-bit version. So we install and enable it, and go to the next step, and we get an overview what will be done to the system now. So SimConnect will be enabled with local option, and the LY will be installed. And we say apply settings. Everything will be applied to the system. If there's any error, you will get a message here and a link to the wiki how to fix it. The last step in the configuration wizard is the selection of the default profile. This is currently not working in this release, so whatever you check is unimportant. In this case, I select the default SimConnect base and say complete wizard. Then a small indexing dialog pops up, indexing your aircrafts. Depending on your machine, that can take some minutes, but it should be done pretty soon. Then we get a message that no default profile has been found and a new one has been created. So that's it. How SPAD.next looks or does when you first start it. It's an empty profile, nothing is programmed, and so we have to start there. But before we load the profile, we do the housekeeping. So first of all, as you can see, it's an unregistered version. We have to register it. And so we go to settings, registration, and say activate. If you wanna use a trial, a 5-day trial, you can just click request trial and you get a 5-day trial key. If you have already a key and registration information, just enter the stuff you got in your SimMarket email. That's your order ID, the email of your SimMarket account, not the email you registered to the forum with or something else. It's the email bound to that order, and the license key. So then you click activate, and activation is successful. SPAD.next has to be restarted to recognize the license. Also, this is a good point to restart your simulator to recognize the bridge. So first of time we let SPAD.next exit our simulator. You cannot see it, it's on another screen. Waiting for it to exit, starting it again. Oh, it's too fast. Now it's starting again. restarting. Okay. Now the bridge should have been loaded. If you see a dialog like, do you want to accept this file, just click yes. Now I restart my SPAD.next. And it comes up again with an empty profile. So this dialog might pop up now. That no profile is assigned to the aircraft currently loaded. In my case, it's a Bombardier. I will just click cancel to do nothing about it, but you can select any other profile and assign it to it. But we just click cancel. So now we head to the application settings. Since I have a Q400, I will enable it. Will be active after next restart, but we don't need it now. And the default settings are pretty much okay. So now we start with a basic profile. As I said before, the default profile that is created for you is empty. It does nothing. So we want to start with the basic profile. There are two options for you now: is either start with one of the default profiles that SPAD.next provides, or head to the online profiles and look for a profile that matches your installation. We will start with a new profile based on the SimConnect base, which pretty much covers all the panels. So we select the SimConnect base and say new profile from this. So we give it a name and name it C72 standard. And there it is, and we activate it. So what has now happened is the profile has been copied into this profile, and all that is configured here, the multi-panel, the switch panel, and the radio panel, is already in this profile. We can see this if we here go to multi-panel and select the altitude. It's already programmed. So now we load the aircraft in FSX. It's loading a bit. In a moment you see here that the aircraft is changed to the Cessna. Okay, now it asks me, it comes up and says that there's no profile assigned to this new aircraft, and I want to assign it to my new created profile. So I select this active profile and select assign. So now every time I load this aircraft, the profile C172 standard will be loaded automatically. I loaded the C172 in cold and dark, means everything is shut off. That's why you see this aircraft power off over here, which means that beneath the physical power which comes from the USB port to the device, there's a virtual power management in SPAD.next, which means I can give conditions when a device should be on and when it should be off, just like in the real plane. So basically, I'm started. I have the multi-panel is already configured for this aircraft. The switch panel is configured for this aircraft, and the radio panel is configured for this aircraft. Depending on your devices connected to your system, you will see more or less panels here. If you don't have a BIP, you won't see it. What you always will see is a script panel, which is a virtual panel where you can program events that are not bound to any switches. There's a separate video about that. So just let's get started. So what we start first is we switch the master battery on our switch panel, and we switch the alternator on, and because it's dark I switch the panel lights on. So now I can turn the magneto switches, right, left, both, start. And as you might can hear, the engine has been started. So basically I can start flying now. I turn it off again and turn off my battery now to save battery power, because I need to program the other stuff. If I now go to the controls section where all the controlling devices are listed, I have the project and the flight radar connected. If I now pull my FSX window over here, move that one a bit here, and if I move my joke, you will see nothing happens in the plane because it's not configured. To configure it, you can do it by hand, by yourself, which is pretty complicated and long stuff. You can just use the online snippets for the joke. Now we have a complete device over here and have a default pro joke, which programming is identical to the default programming of FSX. If you don't want to use SPAD.neXt for your controlling devices, you can just skip the step. So I say OK and say yes, I want to replace all my events, and then the axis will be configured, the head switch will be configured to pan the view, and if I now move my joke, it will move in the plane, and if I move the head switch, the view will move. Same applies for the rudder pedal, which can be programmed using online snippets, and the quadrant, of course. So basically you are ready to fly. Now if you are having flight instrument panels from Cytec, you can now load gauges into the flight instrument panel. Just click on load gauge. Then we have the standard Cytec gauges provided with SPAD.neXt and some demo gauges for commercial gauges. So let's load into this one the altimeter. There it is. Shows the standard height of Munich. In the second one, I'm gonna load the airspeed from FIP gauges. And in the third one, I'm gonna load one from Tom. There we go. And now we are pretty much ready to fly. So we turn on our battery again, our alternator, panel lights are still on, and we start. And that's it, and you're ready to fly. Everything else can be customized to your suites now. If you want to change the programming of the radio panel, you can change it here, or all other panels. So that's basically how you get started. And now you have a new standard profile for your Cessna, and just don't forget to hit save to save the profile. And now if I switch the plane, let's do following. We are going to our empty profile, and I terminate the flight. Now I'm loading the Bombardier. Again, as I cancel because I don't want to switch the profile. Let's give it a second. There it is. And close it again, it was just for SPAD.next to recognize that we changed the flight. And we're loading again our Cessna, cold and dark. You will see that the plane switched already, and it switched automatically back to the C-172 standard profile which we assigned to this aircraft. So that's all how to get started with a basic profile. If you're using another plane, check out the online profiles. For a lot of aircrafts, there are already online profiles available. Just select it and activate profile, and you're pretty much done. Thanks for watching. See you next time.